Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We have a lot of exciting sessions about digital marketing, sales, and e-commerce, and many more. Make sure to download the VFast app on your mobile phone so you can join the sessions much easier anywhere you are. So with that, chill for a few minutes and watch our video for exciting reminders before we begin the session very shortly. See you later. Okay, it's 12:45. Let's begin our session. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the e-commerce acceleration at Nestlé Malaysia. I'm Yi Hong, also from Nestlé Malaysia, and I will be your host for this session. Just for some house rules to ensure that a smooth flowing session today, do keep an eye on the chat box and make sure not to flood it with spams. Yeah, so please be respectful of the chat box so you can catch all the important announcements and links on how you can engage us via Slido. So you saw that someone just popped it out. Okay, and have your mobile phones on standby to scan the QR code on the slides so you can see all kinds of career opportunities in marketing, sales, and data analytics across all Nestlé Malaysia markets around the globe. Okay, so please make sure you listen to the house rules. If you cannot remember, just write it down on your little notes next to you. Okay, so great. Without further ado, let's begin the session. Okay, allow me to introduce our inspiring keynote speakers for today. Zetch Ng, the head of e-commerce of Nestlé Malaysia, and Kevin Yap, head of retail and fulfillment at Shopee Malaysia. Woo!
Hello, hi
Welcome,
everyone.
guys.
Hello,
Okay,
hi.
so allow me to have a short introduction of both our speakers today. So Zetch Ng, with over 8 years of experience in e-commerce, he currently leads e-commerce transformation for the company, developing e-commerce strategies across categories, delivering online business results and building organizational capabilities in e-commerce. As for Kevin from Shopee, he currently heads the retail and fulfillment team at Shopee Malaysia, where he leads the business for all the retail accounts, Shopee Supermarkets, and Fulfilled-by-Shopee. I'm sure you heard of all this, yeah? Okay, so I'm really excited to hear from, or even to learn from Zetch and Kevin about how the partnership between Nestlé as well as with Shopee in Malaysia allows us to win in the e-commerce space. So with that, Zetch and Kevin, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Yi Hong. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone. My name is Zetch. I'm the head of e-commerce for Nestlé Malaysia. So just a little bit of introduction about myself before I go into the sharing. I joined Nestlé in 2011 as a management trainee, and in 2014 had the opportunity to pioneer the e-commerce business for Nestlé Malaysia. And you might ask, 11 years in Nestlé, that's a long time, right? Well, I love food, so what other better company than to work with than the largest food manufacturer in the world? So today I'll be sharing a bit in terms of how we've been able to drive our online business, and particularly by working with key strategic partners to unlock our online sales growth. So before I go into my sharing, I would like to give a big shout out to Kevin Yap from Shopee for taking out time and to speak with us together with me today on this topic. So I think one thing that has impacted us, every one of us globally in Malaysia, is COVID. And we can't really talk about e-commerce acceleration without broaching the topic and the role that COVID has to play in driving acceleration in this area. Now, specifically to Malaysians and within the online grocery space, COVID had a lasting impact, and it has impacted in several key areas. Some of the areas that I'll be sharing with you guys in terms of what COVID has changed is in terms of how shoppers in Malaysia has shopped for groceries, what are the changes in terms of consumption behavior, some of the retailer focus, as well as what changes in terms of the labor market. Now, if you remember in the good old pre-COVID days, Malaysians, we shop groceries mainly in physical outlets. So we love to shop offline. And when it comes to eating consumption behavior, there's growth in on-the-go channels. So ready to eat, ready to drink format. And people also dine out of home in cafes, in restaurants, in warungs, in stalls. Now, before COVID, online was dominated by pure players. There were many categories that were being sold online, but FMCG or groceries were not the online destination category. So we were still relatively small. And when it comes to unemployment rate in Malaysia, at that point of time was at 3.3%. Now, if you look back in the early 2020, when COVID hit, the government implemented quite a lot of measures to curtail the spread of the pandemic. So there were movement controls in place. People were not able to travel outside of a certain radius. And this forced people to change their shopping behavior when it comes to groceries, when it comes to necessities. And this led to a growth in proximity channels. So retailers like 99 Speed Mart, your local mini markets, your local supermarkets, as well as e-commerce were the ones who were gaining a lot of shoppers during the pandemic. And obviously, with restaurants not able to entertain or serve patrons in their premises, people resorted to in-home consumption. So it's either they order food from restaurants via food delivery apps like Grab and Foodpanda, or they shifted towards cooking. Cooking and baking and consumption happens in home. Now, what has happened within the online retail space is that we've seen an explosion, a real acceleration in the space of FMCG, food and food deliveries. So even so much so that offline retailers were venturing online. In the past 2 years, we've also seen the development and rise of new business models like quick commerce, dark stores, on-demand deliveries, and a lot of brands were also accelerating their digital and e-commerce efforts. Now, obviously, there are winners and also losers during the COVID era. So unemployment rate peaked at 5.3%. There was job loss in the F&B, travel, and retail sectors, but people were switching towards the gig economy, so becoming on-demand riders. Now, post-COVID, what has happened is that people have moved back towards offline shopping. And we see online penetration stagnating. Frequency of purchase has also reduced. But the good news is the base that we're observing this year is still much higher than that of the pre-COVID times. And naturally, for food consumption, we see a recovery in terms of the on-the-go channels, out-of-home consumptions, as you see restaurants and cafes filling up as well. Now, right now, in terms of the focus of a lot of online retailers, they're looking into areas of profitability to drive omni-channel proposition, to drive offline collections. And we do also see a rise in social commerce with TikTok coming aggressively into this space. And last but not least, when it comes to the workforce, we see people moving back to F&B, travel and retail sectors. And in the early days, we saw some quite acute shortage for on-demand riders and even pickers and packers for our online business. Now, all in all, it might seem doom and gloom for e-commerce, but that's not really the case, because although this year is a period of technical correction for us, we strongly believe at Nestlé that e-commerce still remains a very important growth driver for Nestlé moving forward in 2023 and in the years to come. So I'm sure you guys know that within the e-commerce space, there's a lot of players, a lot of retailers. But specifically, what I would like to share today is within the scope of online groceries and the food space, these are the 3 key sub-channels that Nestlé looks at. So the first one being the clicks and mortar, or the bricks and clicks. So these are your retailers like Lotus, Mydin, Aeon, Jaya Grocer, retailers who have a very strong physical retail footprint, but they have also expanded their business online, either via their own brand.com, their own app, or some of these retailers do also have presence on online marketplaces like Shopee and Lazada as well. Now, the second subsegment that we're looking at is really in pure play. This is where we see the biggest growth driver for e-commerce in Malaysia, as well as Southeast Asia is from. So these are this space is dominated by the 2 key players, Shopee, which is owned by C Group, Lazada, which is owned by Alibaba Group. We also see a cluster of retailers who focus specifically into groceries, retailers like Potboy, Jocom, and MyGrocer, as well as another cluster that focuses in catering to SMEs and offices. So retailers like Lyrico, Bosco, and Pantry Express, and the rest. Now, the third subsegment that we are looking at is the last mile delivery intermediaries, in short form, the LMDIs. And within LMDIs, there's also three subsegments within this subchannel. First one being the grocery dark stores. These are players like PandaMart, Happy Fresh Supermarket, Easy, whereby the model is that they will buy products directly from brands and then fulfill the orders via their dark stores to the shoppers. The second subsegment within the LMDIs are the grocery marketplaces. So these are where retailers like Lotus, Mydin, even Petromarts or convenience stores list their products on platforms like Grab, Foodpanda, and Happy Fresh to have their products be delivered to the end shopper and end consumer by these platforms. Now, last but not least, within LMDI, there's food delivery. I don't think this needs more introduction. So we all know in Malaysia, the main ones will be GrabFood, Foodpanda, and you have McDonald's, KFC, Damakan, and the rest. Now, some of the players that you see here didn't exist 5 to 6 years ago. Some of the retailers who have existed here, existed in the online space 5 to 6 years ago, today you no longer see them here. So this space has been evolving quite rapidly. So in view of this, we are observing three key trends in terms of the development or the evolution within the online grocery retail landscape. First one being that there's a consolidation in the traditional e-commerce space, whereby currently it's being dominated by a few key players, namely Shopee and Lazada. We also see an acceleration in the area of quick commerce, specifically accelerated by COVID 2 years ago. These are players like PandaMart, Happy Fresh Supermarkets, whereby they promise delivery within 20 to 30 minutes upon ordering. And last but not least, we also see a rise in social commerce with TikTok coming in quite aggressively. Now, you might ask, the landscape has changed so much since the beginning. How has Nestlé Malaysia performed when it comes to our e-commerce sales? So, as I've shared earlier, we started our e-commerce journey really in end 2014. That was when we came together and discussed and organized ourselves to say that we want to start our journey online. 2015, we started our business, and fast forward to 2021, in the span of a couple of years, we have grown tremendously. So from 2015 to 2021, we have grown at a compounded annual growth rate of 111%. Now, the journey has not been easy. There were ups and downs, there were challenges in place. But the good thing is that we started early, and when the pandemic hit, we were able to really quickly accelerate to further intensify our e-commerce efforts. Now, one of the major reasons in terms of why we've succeeded online is in the way that we have worked with key strategic partners to unlock the growth potential in this space. So it's not only these few retailers that are partners that you see here. There are many, many more partners that we've worked together along this journey to drive our e-commerce growth today. So here are some of the examples that you see here in terms of our engagement with our key customers, our key partners, on examples of top-to-top meetings that we've had, joint business planning that we've had, campaign planning that we had, and also one very important partner that we're having here on the bottom right corner is our e-commerce enabler or e-commerce distributor. Without all these players, without all these partners, we wouldn't have been able to drive the results that we have. So in the next few slides, I will dive in a bit to share some of the key highlights in terms of how we've partnered with each of these players to drive different initiatives for Nestlé Malaysia. Now, the first one is our e-commerce distributor and e-commerce enabler. Now, with e-commerce, I think one of the biggest challenges is in the area of logistics and operations. And we know that it's extremely crucial for us to ensure availability of our products online. So areas of operations, fulfillment, customer service level, all of these are very important criteria to ensure that we succeed online, which is why we've selected a partner that has the ability and understanding of our business to work together with us to ensure that we fulfill to our best ability orders from our e-commerce retailer and on the marketplace business to ensure also that last mile delivery is taken care of for our online shoppers. Second area, an example that I would like to share also is in terms of how we've collaborated with key retail partners like Shopee as well as Lazada, and especially during the pandemic, right, to ensure that Nestlé products were always available, accessible, so that people can buy our products, can buy necessities during the pandemic. So even though Malaysians could buy their products from proximity stores, some Malaysians were also concerned with regards to the safety of moving out for fear of the pandemic. And we have worked closely with key partners to ensure that we continue to provide doorstep delivery throughout the pandemic. So not only that, we've also worked with them to come up with recipe ideas. And if you guys recall, back in 2020, there was a whole entire craze with regards to dalgona coffee. So we also came up with recipe ideas via live streaming on the platform to teach people how to make recipes and to provide some sort of shoppertainment to Malaysians during the pandemic as well. Now, apart from focusing on our core products like Milo and Nescafe, what's equally important for us is also how we nurture our new brands. So the example that I would like to share here is in terms of how we've launched our new plant-based brand, Harvest Gourmet, together with PandaMart in the height of the pandemic mid last year. So it was a challenging period for us because we were tasked with the challenge of launching this frozen food category, plant-based category, online during the pandemic. But with the right partner, I think we've been able to launch the product very successfully. And the reason why it makes sense for us to partner with PandaMart to do so was because the proposition and from PandaMart is that they were able to deliver products, frozen products. They were able to manage a cold chain, and they were able to deliver products within 20 to 30 minutes upon ordering. So there was a good fit between the requirements for the brand as well as the ability to deliver from the PandaMart side, which is why we have had a very successful launch with them. And moving forward and continuing up till right now, we've been driving this initiative together with PandaMart. Now, last but not least is our partnership with Shopee. So we started our journey with Shopee back in 2017. That's when we first launched our online store with them. We were one of the very first FMCG food brand to do so. And in one of the key highlights, key milestones for us is that in 2019, we've partnered with Shopee to launch our first ever Super Brand Day campaign with them. So this campaign, with this campaign, we achieved our highest sales milestone in 2019. We were able to recruit a lot of new users to our brand via the platform. But sales and new user penetration were not the only two key objectives for the campaign. We also leveraged the Super Brand Day as a springboard and launchpad for new products, which was very, very important for us. So because of the success of the Super Brand Day that we've had in 2019, we have since made the Super Brand Day an annual event, an annual campaign for us. So in 2020, 2021, this year, and next year and moving forward, we will continue to run this campaign on Shopee. Now, before I pass on to the floor to Kevin, I would like to summarize two key points that I've covered so far. Number one, you've seen that because of us moving into the area of an era of endemicity, there are certain changes with regards to movement on shoppers. We see some rebalancing of movements with regards to people shopping online, but we still see and strongly believe that e-commerce is one of the very important key growth drivers for Nestlé, which is why we will continue to invest and build our strong fundamentals in this area to ensure that we continue to win online. The second point is that we were able to deliver the results, the strong results that we've had so far, by working with key strategic partners to unlock our sales, online sales growth. So without further ado, I'll pass on the floor right now to Kevin to share a bit from his perspective in terms of how Nestlé and Shopee has worked together in the past. So over to you, Kevin.
Thanks, Zetch. And also thanks, Nestlé, for inviting me to share this experience today. As an introduction, my name is Kevin, and I've worked with Shopee for 4 years, and I'm currently heading the Retail and Fulfilment team that covers all retail business, Shopee Supermarket, and also our Fulfilled-by-Shopee fulfillment service in Malaysia. Happy to be here to share more about Nestlé's success on Shopee. For my segment, I'd like to keep it concise, where I'll share why we were successful in building Nestlé's brand on Shopee. And if we move on to the next slide, we have built a strong business partnership with Nestlé to me, with 3 main points. So firstly, we work together using the business model of doing retail, where Shopee works as a retailer. So think of us like Lotus, Mydin, and etc., where we buy and sell Nestlé products on behalf of Nestlé. And also thanks to Nestlé for trusting us to explore this business model with us. And I think largely why we were quite successful is that we were able to then set clear joint business planning goals in setting the right course of growth and laying the building blocks for success. We focus on having the right promotions, new product launches, innovative campaigns, and integrated marketing throughout the year using this JBP session. And I think that's where we were able to help capitalize on growing the brand on Shopee. And as Zetch mentioned, we were able to capture the demand perfectly during the COVID pandemic, where we were helping Malaysians to receive Nestlé's product across the country with ease. I think during the pandemic, in Malaysia, e-commerce was one of the only methods that people were able to get their products with distance control for many areas. I think this allowed us to have a strong reach even after the pandemic is over. I think the business is still growing very, very well. And the second point would be Shopee treating Nestlé store as our own. Because we are a retailer, we manage the store to the highest standard as we can, visually and also service-wise. And because we are strong business partners, we also have additional sales and marketing visibility across the platform. And this is to help boost Nestlé to grow further. And this business model is made feasible is because we operate our own fulfillment warehouse, where we are able to control the quality from inbounding the products into our warehouse all the way to delivery. Hence, we're able to offer fast fulfillment with less than 2 days to ship for regular and campaign days. We also prioritize high quality packaging materials to minimize damage So our buyers are able to have a good experience opening their parcels. And most importantly for us is to store all the products safely. This is so that our products are kept looking new and also in great condition for our buyers. And lastly, I think we definitely prioritize our buyer experience as a key focus of our business. We have a strong customer service team to maintain high chat responses to explain about our products to the buyers and response to all inquiries related to their orders for the best pre and post order service. On top of that, we also manage the returns and refund processes so that it's a seamless process for our buyers. For people who don't know, we do have our own logistics service, which is integrated to our warehouse, which is called Shopee Express. And this allows us to control the experience of our buyers from the warehouse all the way to logistics. And Nestlé has helped us to provide a consistent stock supplies during the times of need, great promotion, and also gift with purchases only available on Shopee, and many other off supports for us to help round off an overall great experience for our buyers. And if we go on to the next slide, we are able to translate great value to our buyers through this business partnership. This is the reason why people purchase Nestlé products on Shopee. And they know about Nestlé on Shopee. It's because Nestlé is a strong supporter of our campaigns by participating in our year-long Champions brand. And all of our important double campaigns, as some of you would know, we start from 1/1 all the way to 12/12. So every month you get to see a double campaign. Regular super brand days on an annual basis, and also countless of many other campaigns that Nestlé supports us. And this has helped buyers keep on top of mind to buy Nestlé products online. And another key driver for Nestlé's success on Shopee is the progressive and also experimental nature of Nestlé in supporting all of our latest marketing solutions. So as you can see on the slide, that we have Shopee Live, Shopee Prizes, Shopee Ads, Shopee Sales, Shopee Affiliates, and Shopee Videos that will be launched soon. And all of these are new innovations that we come up with, and Nestlé will always be the first to support, which is a great thing for a brand to help boost their coverage on the platform for visibility, and also to help convert more sales on their platform. As I mentioned, I like to keep things concise. I think we'll move on to the next session, but I would like to end my segment with a great thanks to Shopee, to Nestlé, sorry, for supporting Shopee Malaysia tremendously. And we will continue being a firm supporter of Nestlé. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin, and likewise, Nestlé to Shopee as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Zetch, and also Kevin, for the good introduction of both, in terms of partnership, how we have been sustaining in the e-commerce space. Yeah, so of course, we will not let you go without answering a few questions from our participants. So, of course, we can see there are 5 questions on the screen. So the first one, we can see, how has brand days like 9/9, 11/11 impacted consumer behavior? How has this impacted sales strategies? Any of both of you wants to take up this question?
So Kevin, maybe you can share first as a total platform, then I'll share the perspective from Nestlé.
Yes, of course. So I think for buyers on e-commerce, it's unique on how people behave differently online. So when you compare against offline, people go quite regularly. And for someone to come back to an e-commerce platform to purchase, it needs to have a pull to the platform, in which is the reason why we have these brand days, like all the double campaigns and super brand days, so that people are attracted to go back to the platform and actually make a purchase. So I think all these campaigns has allowed people to first experiment and try shopping online. And these campaigns get people to shop on a regular, which means if we see on a monthly basis, people return to buy. And this is then able to help people to build a behavior to buy online, which then becomes a more consistent shopping behavior, where then they will purchase beyond these sort of brand days. And I think with that, how it impacts the sales strategy is that then the brands like Nestlé will focus on building and their brand on these days to capture the spike in traffic to the platform, and then hopefully to be able to convert people to buy on a regular basis.
Yeah. So to add on, yeah, I think precisely as per what Kevin mentioned, events like Super Brand Days, 99, Double 11, because the platforms like Shopee does a lot of marketing and hype around these events and campaigns. So much so that Malaysians already know to add the products to cart, to check out at midnight during these campaigns.
Yeah.
So these key events are very effective drivers to drive traffic. For brands like Nestlé, it's also very effective for us to drive new user acquisition and penetration during these campaigns. So for sure, we will need to make sure that in terms of impact, visibility, participation, Nestlé is always there. So when it comes to all these major shopping events and days, Nestlé is always top of mind. People see our products, people see our brands online. We drive new user recruitment during these campaigns. And what we notice is that the repurchase will happen after. So especially during the pandemic, in the very early days, we see a huge influx of new shoppers to the platform. And it was a really good opportunity for us to really build our shopper base. And we noticed that beyond this major shopping days, the repurchase or the return rate of these shoppers are there. So to summarize concisely, these events are very important because these we foresee huge traffic during these campaigns. It's an opportunity for us to drive new user recruitment and to create the behavior for people to purchase online.
Great. So everyone, please stay tuned. More and more, all these campaigns are coming. I think the next one will be 10/10. So yeah, so go to Shopee, all right? Okay, so the next question is very directed to Zetch. You touch upon dedicated e-commerce distributor. What were the benefits and challenges of this approach?
So to correct, I don't think I mentioned dedicated. I think I mentioned that Rutiki was one of our main e-commerce distributors. We are not only working with them. So the benefits, I would say, of working with one is that we can be very ingrained in terms of the way we work, in terms of level of understanding, the expectation, what Nestlé needs. They will have to adapt to deliver what we need, right? But the risk of working with just one is that you're putting all the eggs into one basket. And if something happens along the way, then we are exposed. So as I've mentioned, yes, although the partner that you've seen earlier is one of our main e-commerce distributor and our main partner, but we do not only work exclusively and only with them. So we are also working with several other e-commerce distributors and enablers for our business.
Okay, so not just Rutiki. Remember, guys. All right, next one. We saw that it seems like this is a question that just popped out the first one, so I'll pick that. So based on the current trend, consumer looks for a lot of discount. That is quite true. Okay, how does Nestlé or Shopee is able to provide discounts while maintaining sales?
Okay, maybe I'll take that first. So for us, without going into the details in terms of numbers or disclosing P&C data, what I can share is that our online business is profit accretive to our company, both in Malaysia as well as globally. So discounts, I would say, in the early days were very important because when we started our e-commerce journeys, to be frank, we over-invested ahead of time because we knew that we needed to give Malaysians a carrot, a big enough carrot for them to switch in terms of their shopping behavior from offline to online. Now, as time passed and also accelerated by the pandemic, what we notice is that it has become, for some people, habitual. So earlier you've seen in my sharing in terms of shopping behavior for Malaysians, before the pandemic, e-commerce was never considered as one of the key online shopping destinations when it comes to groceries. But right now, it has already become one of the repertoire channels. Yes, people still do not shop online exclusive for groceries products, but they are right now considering e-com as one of the channels when they think about grocery shopping. And the role, or I would say the importance of discounts, it is still important, don't get me wrong, but it's diminished slightly.
Yeah, I think from my perspective, it's exactly what Zetch mentioned. It is then building the behavior to make it so that our buyers come back to the platform without considering discounts as their priority, but overall convenience and also the experience they have enjoyed over the years. I think that's where people would then evolve from just being price focused to then being experience and value based focused.
Indeed, I think me myself as a customer, I will value the experience as well. So yeah, so don't think of discounts, guys. Just go to Shopee and start purchasing anything you like, especially Nestlé products, okay? Okay, so I see there's one, we only have about 4 minutes, so I can probably take on 2 questions. So we go for the first one in line. So hi, what do you think about direct to consumer models in the e-commerce space? Would it have as high potential as marketplaces or clicks and mortars?
So I would say it depends in terms of the market and the category that you're looking at, and also the objective. With DTC, of course, you'll be able to build first-party data. You'll be able to understand your shoppers better. You'll be able to run CRM programs and really be able to mine these insights and data with regards to your shopper. But the question is, at what cost? And also, is your category or the business that you're managing suitable for a DTC model? So when it comes to high involvement, high value category, and in the case of Nestlé Malaysia, for example, we do have DTC for our Nespresso business because as a category, it makes sense for us to have this model. But if you were to contrast this against our mass groceries brands, products like Milo, Nescafe, Maggi, then the situation is a bit different. Now, when people think about shopping groceries online, yes, although in Malaysia, Nestle owns about 15 plus market share within the FMCG food space, but still there's another 85% of products that you need to buy that are not provided by Nestle. Now, the challenge with having DTC for only Nestle products is that we'll be only able to fulfill or cater to 15% of consumer needs when it comes to grocery shopping. Now, and that's why in the past 2 years, when Shopee accelerated the Shopee Supermarket model, it also made sense for Nestle to be on board as a anchor brand because one, when people think of shopping groceries, food specifically, Nestle has to be there. But when you buy groceries, you typically buy cross categories, cross brands. So to answer your question, it depends on what category and what's the objective for the business.
Okay, I guess we are a bit of a thanks, Zetch, for answering to that question. I guess we are about a minute to the last bit. So last question, okay? You mentioned social commerce. Do you foresee Malaysia leveraging into social gaming anytime soon?
Okay, I'm not too sure what the person means by social gaming, but I can speak a bit about social commerce with regards to TikTok, right? Recently, we've seen reports that I think we all know TikTok is already the major social media platform ahead of Facebook, ahead of Instagram in terms of traffic and in terms of discovery for information, especially for the Gen Z. TikTok has also overtaken platforms like Google as well as YouTube. So it's gaining a lot of importance. Now, if you were to ask me how important is social commerce when it comes to online shopping, right? It is important as a platform for discovery, to drive trial, to drive new user penetration for new product launches. But at this point of time, as it is, I still don't see it as a platform for regular online purchases or regular top-ups, because you go onto TikTok not with the intention to shop, but to consume content. So if you were to come across something that's interesting, or for example, Nestlé has launched a limited edition new product that is very appealing, you feel the impulse to want to try it, then you buy. But if you were to repeat purchase, we don't foresee TikTok will be the platform for you to do your repeat purchase. You could do your repeat purchase in offline platforms or other online platforms like Shopee, Lazada, and the other online retailers.
Thank you so much, Zetch, for answering. So thanks, Kevin and also Zetch for the Q&A. Yeah, we hope that we managed to answer some of the question, and we apologize that we can't take on all the questions due to time limitation. So thank you so much, Zetch and Kevin, for the insightful session. Thank you for sharing your experience as well, and a huge thank you to everyone who attends who is attending the session as well. So thank you, and we hope that you enjoy and you learn some insights from our industry experts, and also feeling very inspired by Zetch and Kevin. Yeah, so don't forget to catch our next session. We have Mark Harris as he talks about digital transformation in action to build an integrated digital ecosystems. So you surely don't want to miss this out. So go to our chat box and just click on the link, so it will direct you to the next session, okay? Or even if, let's say, you want to go through the agenda again, do feel free to go back to that page, and you can also access the next session through the main page, okay? So I believe some of you might have missed out some of the next level sessions. So please don't panic, because recordings will be up very soon for you to have your own personal recapping. Okay. And yeah, we would like to hear thoughts from you. So please feel free to fill in your thoughts and tag us in LinkedIn with the hashtag Next Level 2022. So thank you so much, everyone. We hope you have a good day, and see you in the next session. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.